In a significant escalation of the ongoing war, the United States and Israel have launched a joint airstrike targeting Iran's most important strategic bridge, the Saab 1 bridge, also referred to as the Bor 1 bridge in the Kora area southwest of Tehran. The attack has raised urgent questions among military analysts. Are the US and Israel planning to seize the Iranian capital? The bridge, a $400 million strategic artery Saab 1 bridge, located approximately 35 kilometers southwest of Tehran, is a massive infrastructure project. It spans 139 meters in width and extends more than 1 kilometer in length. Built at a cost of $400 million, the bridge serves as a critical transportation link connecting the capital Tehran to the Karaj region and onward to Iran's northern provinces. It is widely considered not only a national luxury, but a strategic military and economic artery for the entire country and the broader Middle East. Destroying it effectively severs one of the main supply routes between Tehran and the northern territories, potentially hampering the movement of Iranian troops, weapons, and supplies. Casualties and Iranian condemnation joint strike has killed at least 8 people and injured 95 others, including civilians. The Iranian defense minister condemned the attack as a sign of the ultimate decline of the US-Israeli alliance and warned that Iran would retaliate against multiple targets in the Gulf and across the Middle East. Iranian Foreign Minister Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, likely a reference to a senior diplomat, as the supreme leader holds a different title, confirmed on social media that the attack on the bridge was a war on terror, though it remains unclear whether he was condemning the US-Israeli action or framing Iran's response as anti-terror. He added that Iran certainly does not accept any offer of surrender and that the United States is not ready to end the war. Trump's ultimatum: make a deal before everything is lost. On Friday, US President Donald Trump confirmed that US and Israeli warplanes had bombed the Saab 1 bridge. He warned of further attacks on Iranian civilian infrastructure, stating on his social media platform that the Iranian regime has been dragged down and cannot be revived. It has already broken down. Trump declared that Iran must accept an agreement with the United States to end the war before everything is lost. The Iranian president's social media account, in contrast, wrote that Iran would not surrender and that the United States would face consequences. This attack on the bridge comes just one day after Trump threatened to escalate the war further, including potentially attacking Iranian power plants. In an address to the nation on April 1st, Trump said he would push Iran back to the Stone Age. The bridge strike appears to be a direct implementation of that threat. Iran's retaliatory threats, targeting Gulf bridges immediately after the attack on the Saab 1 bridge. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps IRGC announced that it had identified targets throughout the Middle East for retaliation. These include important bridges in the territories of Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. The IRGC warned that these could be struck directly in response to the destruction of Iran's bridge. Iran has already launched a series of attacks on Gulf economic and commercial infrastructure, firing dozens of missiles and thousands of rockets or drones, causing widespread destruction across the Middle East. The war so far, 5 weeks of strategic bombing. The US-Israeli air campaign has now entered its 5th week. The stated goal has been the strategic destruction of Iran's military infrastructure, including artillery depots and missile storage sites, missile production plants, nuclear power plants, and nuclear research facilities, buildings in important areas throughout Iran, including some hospitals, universities, and storage sites, though these have been contested as collateral damage. According to United Arab Emirates Online, published on April 3rd, at least 2,000 people have been killed in US airstrikes so far. The actual number may be higher. Iran has responded not only with direct strikes on Israel and US bases, but also with retaliatory attacks on countries hosting US assets, including Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar. The Houthi factor: a new front opens, complicating the conflict further. The Yemeni militant group Ansar al-Houthis, which controls more than 50% of Yemen's territory and has effectively taken over the capital, Sana'a, has entered the war on Iran's side. The Houthis have fired heavy ballistic missiles at Israel, most of which were supplied or supported by the Islamic Republic of Iran. The Houthis declared that they joined the conflict because Iran is their own and because Iran is now in a severe war with the United States and Israel. Israel, for its part, has stated that it will accept all attacks and respond forcefully. Tehran under siege. The capital's isolation. The destruction of the Saab 1 bridge has effectively isolated Tehran from the northern provinces. Military experts see this as a deliberate strategy. By severing the bridge, the US and Israel are making it difficult for Iranian forces to rapidly transport troops, supplies, and reinforcements into the capital from the north. This could be a prelude to a ground assault on Tehran. If US and Israeli forces were to launch a ground invasion, the inability of Iranian troops to move quickly from the north would significantly advantage the attackers. Security lockdown in Tehran. A capital under first Iranian capital is currently under tight security control by Iran's internal security forces, the same forces that brutally cracked down on protesters in January. The Islamic Republic has deployed thousands of these security personnel throughout the capital. According to reports, travelers heading to Tehran are now subject to the strictest security checks. Any driver found carrying weapons into the capital could face arrest and possibly life imprisonment. This lockdown suggests that Iranian authorities fear both external attack and internal uprising. Will the US send ground troops? A Secretary of War has stated that a ground offensive has not been ruled out. While air power alone may not force Iran's surrender, ground troops remain the most natural option to end the war if Iran refuses to capitulate. Experts believe that the destruction of key bridges and infrastructure like the Saab 1 bridge is part of a broader strategy to weaken Iran's ability to move and supply its ground forces before any potential invasion. However, the IRGC, the strongest fighting force supporting the Islamic Republic, has declared that it is determined to defend Iran's sovereignty and territorial integrity until the end. The IRGC has also warned that any US ground invasion would face a bloody guerrilla war in Iran's mountainous terrain. Conclusion: a bridge too far. The destruction of the Saab 1 bridge marks a new phase in the US-Israeli war against Iran. No longer are airstrikes limited to military depots and nuclear sites. They now target critical civilian infrastructure that connects the capital to the rest of the country. Whether this is a precursor to a ground invasion of Tehran or simply an attempt to pressure Iran into accepting Trump's surrender terms remains to be seen. What is clear is that the war is escalating, regional powers are being drawn in, including the Houthis from Yemen, and the Iranian people are caught in the middle. Trump has promised to end the war as soon as possible, but his actions suggest a strategy of maximum destruction to force an unconditional surrender. Iran, for its part, shows no sign of breaking. As one analyst put it, the bridge is down, but the road to Tehran remains long and blood-soaked.